Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jayhawk Bozen, and I recently took a break from most milsims as well as videos, but I'm back here today uh, to talk about the project we're now working on, me and a couple of friends, Project Kodiak. So, Project Kodiak is a going to be a roleplay community. It does involve Coast Guard, however, it's a community aiming towards creating a roleplay community based off the Kodiak Island in Alaska. The communities aim towards people interested in the maritime industry, civilian as well as military aviation, specifically Coast Guard, and public safety fields like law enforcement, fire rescue, as well as people interested in airport jobs such as air traffic control or airport maintenance. And then we'll also include business opportunities such as fishing, and then commercial aviation, such as tour helicopters. So this project's going to include parts of, most parts of Kodiak Benny Benson State Airport, as well as Kodiak Island. Not all of it, just the slim of the coast, and then a lot of water, of course. It's going to have a replica base layout, including replica buildings, and the fleet of 6 C-130 aircraft, 6 MH-60 Tango Jayhawk helicopters, and 4 HH-65 Dolphin helicopters, all operated by the U.S. Coast Guard. So we're going to have, obviously, the Coast Guard Command, Air Station Kodiak, and then we're also going to have base services such as Morale, Wellbeing, Recreation, the Coast Guard Police Department, and the Coast Guard Fire Department. So think of this more as a roleplay community with factions, except all factions are more directly ran by the community staff. So we also have separate commands. So not everything falls under like the Coast Guard commander. We'll have Coast Guard elements, Coast Guard Police, Coast Guard Fire are their own separate commands, and then we also have the Kodiak Airport, and as well as businesses, all right? And then also, later down the road, once the group becomes more set up and we're able to have people, as we get enough people to fill in more and more roles, we're going to also implement a locality government for the town of Kodiak. So we'll have a like town council, city council, or some sort. All right? So I'm going to actually kind of pan out here, and I'm going to go over the base. So this map was mainly worked on by 23XCL. We also had a little bit more help with the, obviously, the aircraft were not made by our base developers. They were made by some of my friends. Major thanks to KO. So this base is actually a replica of Kodiak Air Station as well as Kodiak Airport, the state airport, Benny Benson. So we actually have a taxiway that crosses with the road here. To the left is most of the hangars, so it's a very split up base. You have most of your like operational areas over here. A nice little baseball field down there too. And then you have your base headquarters building. And then you also have the healthcare clinic, because health services will actually be a job opportunity available to the Coast Guard personnel. Right, so that'll also be its own command. You can be a health services technician. You could be civilian staff for the Coast Guard. There's a lot to do aside from aviation only. Right. Of course, this group is focused on the maritime and aviation aspects. However, we also have base housing. We also have recreational fields, which will be working with the baseball system, soccer system, as well as football system, similar to what you see in Football Fusion. So that way, everyone has some fun things to do aside from just flying some helicopters and rescuing Lego people, right? So 23XCL did a great job on most of these buildings. Some of them are just fillers, however. Most of these houses have an interior which can be customized, but of course we don't want to go too far ahead in such an early progress area or progress stage of development, right? Then we also have the football field. So, and then we'll also get to the airport here in a second. So this map will actually be surrounded by the beautiful mountains of Kodiak. As you can see over there, we actually have one mountain starting to form up thanks to 23XCL and his height maps. Here we have the fire department, right? So the fire department will be staffed by the Coast Guard Fire Department. Obviously, it's going to be a civilian and active duty combination. It's mainly civilian. It's a federal fire department operated by Base Kodiak. And then we also have a very nice replica interior thanks to Google Street View of the fire department. Everything in here is pretty much on point, one-to-one realism, right? Nice gym. Not like anyone here is going to use a gym anyways, but I digress. Alright. So that covers it for the fire department. And then we also have the nice replica airport, right? So obviously this needs terrain work. This is we're only 10 days into this project, which you might be surprised, honestly. This is a lot of progress for 10 days. But this is the replica airport at Kodiak. All the realistic runway numbers and demarcations. And then another opportunity I had mentioned, which we haven't really gone over yet, is also civilian like airports, right? Or civilian airport operations. So at Kodiak Airport, Alaska Airlines operates out of there. However, we are planning on switching more to of a helicopter tour company, because we really have no second location for a commercial aircraft to go. So instead, what we decided to do was we're going to add some smaller civilian helicopters and then permit specific companies that wish to perform like air tours and everything, and then they can operate out of this civilian side of the airport. So here we have the Alaska Airlines terminal with a very nice interior, and then just some civilian garages, hangars, and the Island Air Service building right there, right? So it's a really pretty map. The developers have done a great job so far. And then also the aircraft, which I'm going to go over here in a second, is much better than what was previously seen on Coast Guard Cutter Hamilton. We're one of the first groups now to operate Coast Guard HC-130J. So not a lot of people have Coast Guard C-130s because it's such a unused plane, right? Nobody really needs it. So we were able to, thanks to ConISL, get a C-130, which works now, has FLIR camera and everything, but I'll go more in depth on the features once I get to the aircraft, right? So really nice base. It's still a work in progress past the airport right now, which is where like the MWR facilities are and everything. And then some helicopters like this Dolphin are actually being phased out. We're working on a new aircraft as we speak. And then we also have a very nice replica hangar with everything in there. So let me go ahead and fly over here. I'm going to show you all a helicopter which does work and go over everything new that there is to see. Alright, let me open up the doors here. Alright, and I'll unfly myself. Alright, so the first very nice thing is realistic navigation lights. Previously, the helicopter had really bad nav lights. And they also look very good at night, which I'll show you all here. So, it'll look much better in bad weather and in dark conditions when we're doing search and rescue missions and just out on the flight line. Alright, let me put back to day here. Alright, and for the pilot, that's really all there is. Just the nav lights. There is also a very nice taxi mode now. Thank you to KO for this awesome helicopter. And then we're also working on the implementation of rotor blur, so that way when the helicopter's flying, the rotors have a nice look to it. There's also now external fuel pods on the side. Doesn't really have an effect on it. However, it does give the helicopter more realistic appearance. And then thanks to Tofi, we also have a new hoist system, right? So this is the Westpac winch system, used by another group, Pararescue Squadron given to me thanks to Tofi. You can actually attach detach basket in flight, so the flight mechanics can actually sit in the helicopter and remove the basket in flight, right? So there's also realistic hoist control here. Up, down, it looks much better, right? And then also we have a little bit more attachments. So you can attach to self, but you need a vest, which we're working on. It'll be for rescue swimmers mainly, so they can actually get hoisted down and up. And then you can also attach to hook different things, and then you can add stretcher, and then of course the basket, which we went over, which we're gonna get a new basket here. Don't worry about that. That's just kind of like a filler, right? Then we have a place for the person to sit. Doesn't look too great, but it's pretty realistic in all point. Okay. Another awesome feature, which I have to put it tonight again, is the spotlight, thanks to Kale. Really cool search feature, which we can use. So I click it on, and it actually illuminates the area, which we can do searches with, and point at the person in the water for the pilot to find, right? So that about sums it up for the Jayhawk helicopter. Pretty nice helicopter, and we also have realistic numbers for every aircraft. So 6004 is just one of the many Jayhawks here at Kodiak. We also have 05 and some more down there. Now, I'm going to skip the Dolphin, actually, because the Dolphin, well, we're phasing that out here. We're getting a new one, and it's also being phased out in the real big Coast Guards. So you won't be seeing that here for much longer, right? So C-130, very nice. Great job by Conizel. He went in, scripted a bunch of things, put some Gate Studios on that. Got a FLIR camera as well now, right? Much better than the C-27 we had originally. It does have a cargo capability as well now, Loadmaster drop capability, a bunch of weld pads, as well as seats. These seats will probably not be used that much. But we also have a very nice and realistic ramp. And then also, thanks to Con, the C-130 has realistic scaling. A lot of C-130s you'll notice in Roblox are very large. C-130s are actually fairly small aircraft. So we were able to get this scaling down, and it's pretty on point to what it is in real life, right? Alright, we also have the controls back here. Okay, let me just go back here real quick so I can show you all. And here we go. Look at that. It's pretty neat. It's a little bit glitchy, but it'll work. Trust us. Also, this seat will control the FLIR camera as well. This is where the system operator is going to sit. Then we have the current FLIR cameras on here right now. Very nice. Oh, my bad. Very nice FLIR system added by Conizel. It's going to be great for search and rescues, and it's going to give the C-130 an actual use, right? Very nice infrared. Right? And then we also have night vision, which obviously does not look good at day. There's a reason it's called night vision. So, that's about all there is for Kodiak so far, guys. We're going to work on the town of Woman's Bay here soon. We're actually naming it Ben's Bay, or Men's Bay, right? Yeah, that's about all. So, thank you all for tuning in here, and I'll put the invite for the group in the description if you're interested in joining. But I hope if you found this interesting, you're going to join Project Kodiak, because we're looking for great people to fill a lot of different roles. I'm Jayhawk Bosun, and that was Project Kodiak. Be sure to join.